What's going on, everybody? It is I, Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst. And don't worry, I'm not going to be the only one. Mr. Moore for Your Money will be joining us very, very shortly. But right now, you're stuck with me. And we got a lot to talk about here on what's been going on in the world of sports. We had big games in the CFL on the weekend, which unfortunately we saw some blowouts. My Argo pride hurt a little bit in that Calgary game. We have some NHL to talk about between the Toronto Maple Leafs and comments from Anthony Stolarz after that game. And, of course, NFL coming up today. Blue Jays today, critical game 6, do or die for the Jays, and so much more. And quickly, before we get into the comment section, let's just get into this one here. Another great day at the Analyst Desk, where every day feels like game day. Big thanks to everyone tuning in. Respectful debates, smart conversations, and real sports talk are what make the community great. Let's keep it clean. No hate speech, no personal attacks, just passionate sports talk from fans who love the game. Now, obviously, it was a big game, big day in the CFL, but let's get right to the comment sections real quick here, and we go to Key. I'll worship, but listen to the boys and then talk sports. Well, Key, enjoy church. Always a great place to be. But obviously, it's, but we have a lot to talk about here. So I actually want to start with the Canadian Football League, and I do want to first start off with the Edmonton Elks. And tough break for the Edmonton Elks. I think BC, that game got away from them, unfortunately. It really came down to that going for it on 3rd and 12 in the third quarter when only down a score, I thought was a bizarre decision. And I felt that's when the game completely got away. I'm seeing people blaming Cody Fajardo. Yeah, he did throw a couple interceptions. Obviously, that's never good, but I don't think you can blame Cody Fajardo for this season whatsoever. I think Cody Fajardo is the reason why you even had a season this year. And, I said I wasn't going to be the only one here. I see someone in the background. It's Mr. Moore for Your Money, who looks very confused.
Hello.
You're there like,
hello.
Talk to me, brother.
Hi.
How's it going, Dan?
Good. How are you?
Oh, just living the Analyst Desk dream.
Beautiful.
We're just talking about the Edmonton, or just started talking about the Edmonton Elks, and I know you didn't get a chance to really see all this game, Dan, but I was curious on your perspective on this. There's been a lot of Cody Fajardo hate I've seen on social media.
Why?
It was probably his worst game of the year. 3 interceptions, only 1 touchdown, 19 for 34. But I also thought it was more on the... I also thought it was more on the play calling, but if you were Mark Killam, who he feels Killam was a huge reason for this team's turnaround this year, are you sticking with Cody Fajardo next year? We're going to do a full post-mortem show of the Elks once their season is officially finished, but how are you feeling about Cody Fajardo? And actually, the bigger question, would you be starting Trey Ford next week to give him one more look?
Well, I may as well at this point because the season's over, but let's be honest there. You're starting Trey Ford next week so that you have some upping his trade value, hopefully, right? He's got to go.
The thing is that there's not going to be a lot of spots available in the quarterback position because I think Toronto, and again, we're going to be doing a full postmortem show about Toronto as well, but I mean, it's a good chance the Argos are going to move on from either Kelly or Arbuckle, who are both signed through next year. TSN confirmed on the broadcast last night. But no, I think for Edmonton, I would call this season an overall success, even though they missed the playoffs. And hear me out, Dan. They started 1-5. Okay? And it came down to the second last week of the season for them to be eliminated.
Dude, this is a complete epic failure.
No,
they
it's
went
not.
backwards. They had more wins last year with a worse team. You got a new owner this year. You got a new coach this year. You got a franchise quarterback this year. You had
Cody Fajardo is not a franchise quarterback.
You had your up and starting young quarterback. You spent billions of dollars on defense, and you did nothing. This is one of the biggest failures I've ever seen.
disagree with you wholeheartedly. I think Edmonton, and again, we'll talk about way more of this, especially when Mr. Dashko can join us. But look, at the end of the day, Edmonton, no offense, they did what Toronto couldn't do in a lot of ways. They were able to they were able to salvage a terrible season. A lot of years, this record makes the playoffs. I think this is just showing the overall talent in the CFL has increased over the last couple years. And to the comment section, the Rams Jags game is there. I always forget there's an NFL game on at like 9 o'clock. Who the hell wants to get up at 9 a.m. and drink beer and watch football?
People don't have work. I don't know.
Currently, the Rams are up 21-0 in the fourth quarter over the Jags. That's actually a bit of a surprise because you know what? Same records. Jags have been looking decent of late. But this is what the Jags seem to do, right? Trevor Lawrence gets in a groove for a couple games, and then he goes back to the Trevor Lawrence that lost his starting job to Mac Jones last year. So it's a real hit and miss thing. But look, we'll have way more on that on Edmonton later on. But I'm curious, Dan, will you finally admit that Nathan Rourke has a very strong chance of winning MOP this year?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he has a strong chance of winning it. He's been pretty decent all season. I just think it's sad that so many people fell off the bandwagon. I mean, if it was me, I would give it to Mills from Calgary. I think you get like 1,400 yards of a running back and you still got a week left. I mean, what more do you want from the guy? When Brady Oliveira hit 1,500 yards last year, everyone thought he was some god. And now basically Mills did the exact same thing.
Mills is at 1,340.
Yeah, but I'm saying a week after, well, he's a good chance he's going to hit. If he plays next week,
he's not going to hit 15. He's not going to.
No, he hit 14.
Yeah, well, he should hit 14, but 15, I don't know about that.
No, I don't think so. I think Mills has been. Everyone said with Calgary that VA was going to be the answer, and VA has played well. Don't get me wrong, but I think at any day, the one that's played consistently throughout the whole season, every single game, was your MVP for the whole season, every single night, was Dedrick Mills.
Yeah, I think Dedrick Mills is definitely your MOP coming out of Calgary. But back to the comment sections here, and Dan, the Edmonton fan here, is with Jacob all the way on this one. I'm proud of the boys, and I'm not going to hide and cave in embarrassment to say it. Yeah, I honestly look. I think Edmonton's got a lot to build off of. I really do. I think that Elks team is close.
Like, I'm proud of the players that made it this close. I'm not denying that, but I mean, overall as a franchise, this is an epic fail.
Also, thank you very much, David, for the like over on Facebook. Appreciate it, as always. Helps with the algorithm. So if anyone who's watching, if they can send us a like, a heart, a laugh, angry emoji, if you don't like it that for once that Dan is not wearing a hat, then you do you. I'm just kidding, Dan. You are looking stunning as always. But
I did want to wear an Argo hat after last night.
Hey, you know what? I'm still representing my double blue. It's the old double blue logo, so maybe this is telling that I'm missing the old days a little bit. Well, look, I got to say this quickly.
I wear my Maple Leaf isn't that much better after last night's performance either, but
yeah, Calgary was. Toronto. Look, so at least Calgary had someone to cheer for. Key, thank you very much for the heart in the comment section and in the reaction area. Like I said, guys, it really does help us with the algorithm when we get likes in there. I hate asking for them, but it does help. But yeah, I'm gonna say this though. We'll quickly, at least the Edmonton lost respectfully this week. Like it was a close game until about midway through the third, and I thought Cody Fajardo fought right until the very end. I thought Ottawa, funny enough, gave Montreal a real run for their money on Saturday. I thought it was actually
Ottawa is a different story, and here's why. I think Cullum should be canned from Edmonton.
What?
For next year, but no one agrees with me.
No.
But for Bob Dice, his job is really on the line, right? I think Bob Dice should be canned this year. And I think Bob Dice wanted to go up with a victory to prove that, no, he wants to come back next year.
He didn't get a win, but they played hard. Like, I thought the week before they looked very uninspired, and it looked like they had completely given up on Bob Dice. That wasn't the case this week.
No.
They lost 39-28. So it's a 2-score game, which is in reach. And the fourth quarter, until towards the end of the fourth quarter, at one point they were out shooting them. At one point they were outscoring them 18-0 in that fourth quarter. So Ottawa gave them everything they had, and absolutely, it's a busy day today with the. I believe this is a good friend of ours. Busy day between the NFL, NHL, and Jays, which absolutely very busy day in sports. We had a very busy day on Saturday. We have another very busy day in the sports world today, and yeah, like, look, the Jays too, they're in a do or die situation, right? Like what Edmonton was in yesterday. So let's hope the Jays they haven't won a game in
well, I think hopefully they'll pitch this very last game as a Blue Jay on game 4.
No, I'm going to call this out. I hope Savage does the same thing that Scherzer does when Schneider tries to pull him too early and just says no.
I don't think he can.
I don't think he will at this stage of his career, obviously.
I don't think he has the balls to do that.
I don't know balls. I just think they just laugh at him. Like,
what do they do with balls? I mean, Max Scherzer is a Hall of Famer. I almost said quarterback, sorry. Hall of Famer pitcher. And, he's won the Cy Young Award. He's won the MLB the MLB World Series championship thing, right? So he's done all this stuff. He can tell what's John Snyder done, right? He can tell John Snyder what to do. But you escape it to some 22-year-old kid, right? I mean, let's be honest. If we're sitting here in any other sport, let's say it was a 22-year-old goalie, and let's say some coach like, I don't know, Sheldon Keefe, some idiot hasn't done anything, pulls a 22-year-old goalie, and he goes like, yeah, he can't pull me. Man. We all be sitting here, whoa, that's a bad attitude, right? So
depends on how you do it.
Where you escape it, he can't do that at this point of his career. But for Max Scherzer, why not? I mean,
look, I'm also going to say it. You can do it as long as you back it up, and Scherzer backed it up. But Key, I don't know. Saturday was a tough day in sports for the tough day in the six.
Actually,
but
you know what? I'll just say it here. Maybe tough day in the six, but in the Hammer, I was at the Canadian Premier Soccer League, and the Forge SC won for the last game of the season, and now has won the best position for the playoffs of the whole season. So if you're looking for another sport, there's a 9-league soccer team just in all of Canada. They have to have a ratio of Canadian players, so the lot of players get drafted from Canadian universities, and whoever's left over is free agents from Europe. So I was surprised. It was very good soccer. They won 3-0. It was a good game, good atmosphere. So good day in the Hammer.
And I mean, I'm sure Hamilton. And I mean, if you're a Hamilton fan, you were happy to see Toronto get completely dummied by Calgary. So there you go. There's great day in the Hammer, bad day in the six. And good. I'm very curious how you're feeling, though, about Anthony Stolarz. And then we'll get back into
yes, that's what I sent you this morning.
He pretty bluntly called out his team for being uninspired. And number one, I think the Leafs need to do something about the way Stolarz is getting ran over, because if he gets injured the season, I'm going to call it right now. If he got a bad injury, the season's over.
Oh, 100%. It's Joseph Wall has disappeared.
It's nothing to do with Joseph Wall in general. Okay, but at any team who loses their starting goalie, it's tough to come back from. And I think Stolarz is a Vezina caliber goaltender. Oh, so we saw that game against the Rangers, which statistically was the best game any goalie has played so far this season. Mm-hmm. And look, I think he's right. I think the Leafs are playing very uninspired right now.
Well, that's what it comes down to. What I don't understand is you have all the salary cap space if you take out like guys who are not doing anything. That Marcelli has done absolutely nothing. And I understand Ryan Reeves, his time was up in Toronto. I totally get that. But like a Lumpet, he had a big spot in that dressing room, right? He was a leader. He was the enforcer. People knew when he was on the bench, right? Not to bully Anthony Stolarz. And then you just didn't replace him with anyone. So what, you replace Ryan Leeds with Marcelli? Hello?
No,
maybe that's why you're struggling this year. So you got to give it Marcelli, do whatever you got to do with Joseph Woll's contract and bring in a tough guy.
No, this is the job of the coach to get these $10+ million spoiled brats to play hockey.
No, I don't want William Nylander beating people up.
So it's not up to the coach to motivate your team, and I'm going to call it to get off your ass and actually do something.
So you want William Nylander fighting people?
Full game this season yet, and I'm sick of it. Everyone goes on Berube's such a tough coach. Well, this looks like the Sheldon Keefe Leafs again. They're not hitting. They're not shooting. You can't even have Brandon Carlo as Dion Phaneuf who can't hit. Like, I'm sorry, but you're going on about Marcelli. I'm more going on about Brandon Carlo, who was supposed to stabilize his defense. And right now, I'd rather have Philip Myers up than Brandon Carlo. Brandon Carlo is terrible. He can't skate. He doesn't want to hit. He's terrible with Chris Tanev, for example, is god awful with the puck. It doesn't matter because he blocks shots.
Yeah, we all know that.
He defends really well. Brandon Carlo was turning the puck over like Arby's has their turnovers on 2 for 5, just giving them away. This is ridiculous. You're going on about we're not hitting well and we're not defending well, so let's blame a forward we traded a 3rd-round draft pick for. It was like you're just like the Jays fans who blamed Kevin Gausman for game 1 when we scored 1 run. You have to start looking at this team and looking at the real problems. This team was built to be bigger, better defensively, and hit more. They are not playing big, and they are defending worse. That's on coaching. That's not on management. He went out and got out the best defense core we've had since the early 2000s on paper, and it's been hot garbage.
Yeah, but you go after you got all that. Well, that's all fine and dandy. But then you spend $3.5 million and more importantly, a roster space on this Marcelli guy. And do you know how much he weighs? He weighs a grand total of 187 pounds.
I think some people are enjoying our arguments here in the comments. But damn, you're going on about one player on the forward group.
Mm-hmm.
It's
not just one player. Don't get me wrong. It's not just one player.
To replace Ryan. You got to replace Ryan Reeves.
We got to get rid of Nicholas Wapison. Right? We gave him a chance without Marner to step it up. He has not done it. I would put Kelly Youngquist back in the lineup. We need Scott Lawton healthy. It's not just one player. I'm just saying between the players that you got this offseason, Marcelli was the closest thing to not replace Mitch Marner, but fill in some of those points.
Well, no, he hasn't done it. Nylander's killing it this year.
Oh, for sure. And as much as Dakota Joshua is not playing well in the stats right now, I like what he's contributing to the lineup. He's hitting. He's playing good hockey. I know he's not getting points. I know his plus minus is not very good at the moment, but I like what Dakota Joshua brings to the table. I really like Roy, what he's bringing to the table. I think, if anything, you need to give Roy more ice time. I should say. I'm sorry. You need to give Roy more ice time. I think he's played very well with the limited amount of ice time that he has on this team. I'm really impressed with him. I do not see it in Marcelli whatsoever. I know it's only 6 games, but I don't see it. I was really hoping that Nick Wapison was going to step it up this year. I thought this was his prime year of Mitch Marner to step it up. He has not.
Look, again, I'm going to be calling out the guy that they actually went out to stabilize everything. Brandon Carlo, since joining the Leafs, is mediocre at best.
I agree.
Like, you look at his best years in Boston, plus 23, plus 44. This year he's even. Last year he was -4 as a Leaf. He was -4 in the playoffs. Like, he's not a very good. I don't know why whenever the Leafs have gotten good players to play with Morgan Rielly, they then get rid of them. Because, like, Lyubushkin, for example, played very well with Morgan Rielly.
Luke said.
Played very well with Morgan Rielly. Brandon Carlo does not. If we saw at the game on Saturday, they actually split up Rielly and Carlo and put Tanev back of Carlo again to try something.
Yeah, we did.
And I see in the comment section here, Adam is saying, while we'll get more once Lawton comes back from injury, I do agree
For
with you
sure,
there.
yeah.
And I think, look, as much as I'm heated and I'm a passionate dude, if Lane was here, my gosh, he'd be screaming through the TV. But I'm going to say there's no time. This is no reason to panic in Toronto just yet. It's still very early in the year. And luckily for you, Ottawa also isn't playing that well.
Right.
Florida's okay.
Boston's
Tampa's
playing
okay. Boston's, yeah, they're playing
well.
all
I
right.
don't know how long they'll keep it long term, but right now,
The team in the Atlantic to beat early on is Montreal. But enjoy the Canucks game, good sir.
Yeah.
Vancouver's a team. Look, if Thatcher Demko could get on a run, you never know. But
yeah. And that Jake DeBrusk looked incredible as a Canuck. He had a really good year last year. He's really firing up this year as a Canuck.
But look, I think what people are kind of forgetting is whether you liked Mitch Marner or not, he was a huge part of this team for years.
Yes.
The Leafs, where everyone is panicking, is 1 point behind first in the Atlantic.
Oh, I'm not panicking at this point.
Detroit, who is
I'm not
first
panicking. I'm just feeling
you are panicking. It's not just you, Dan. Many people are panicking.
I feel like I agree with Anthony Stolarz. I think he's a very smart guy. He's a very creative guy, very vocal guy for a goalie. A lot of goalies kind of sit in the corner and do their thing, which is not a bad thing. But I give Stolarz a lot of credit. He is so vocal in the media, and he is calling out his teammates, and I 100% agree with him.
By the way, at this point last year, the Leafs were 3-2 with 6 points. The Leafs have 7 points this year, and the Leafs won the division.
I agree. It's not a point of panic. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying with Anthony Stolarz getting Lane over, because you're right, let's face it.
It's a problem.
If Anthony Stolarz gets injured, the year's done.
Well, yeah, I don't see... Joseph Woll is a good goalie when he's back, but he's not as good as Stolarz. Caden Primo is decent, but again, not as good. We don't know about how to be
terrible. I'd rather have James Weimer.
I disagree with you there. I mean, I think Caden Primo, his one game he came in, he played well. Well, James Reimer, Dan, in preseason couldn't even stop like AHL players.
Okay, Primo this year has a 4 goal against Abbott and an 8.67 save percentage. That's basically his numbers throughout his whole career.
Hold up. I'm going to say the same thing to you that you said to me when I said the Winnipeg Blue Bombers aren't even going to win a playoff game. And you said, well, did they win the game? Did Primo win the game?
Yes, he did.
And he did his job.
That's true.
Your goaltender's job is to allow at least one less goal than the other goalie.
Right.
That is your job. Mission accomplished, chap. But look, I'm just saying for the Leafs, it is no time to panic whatsoever. Truthfully, and you're going to laugh at me, Dan, and I want you to put full screen for your reaction here.
Oh, boy, okay.
The team that should be panicking is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers of how god-awful they played, barely beating a preseason roster.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, they did win the game, which was the important thing, but you definitely have a wonder what's going on there.
Because in my opinion, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and Brady Oliveira said this is why I want to bring this up too, because, we're kind of talking about some spicy comments. Brady Oliveira called out his team saying they're not going to win a playoff game if they play like that.
No.
And they looked absolutely terrible.
So gas or ass. Is this Brady Oliveira's last year as a Blue Bomber?
I think it depends how the playoffs go. But if the team continues to play like this, 100% gas.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And then I hope Toronto signs them.
Yeah. Well, I actually like that Brown Toronto guy.
I'd be much happier with Brady Oliveira.
I think if that Williams didn't get injured with his eye, I think he could have been good. But Brady Oliveira is pretty incredible.
But like Claros again this week, 15 for 24, 182, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. This offense is terrible. Like you really see it when, and I don't get why they won't play Dylan Mitchell. And because they pulled him out of the lineup again for no reason. He's not injured. He wasn't on the injured list from what I saw. I get you gave Oliveira the ball 16 times. Maybe he needs it 25 times. Like, I think at this point, the offense has to run through. Like, Brady Oliveira got 19 touches between passes and runs. I honestly think you got to give him the ball 25, 30 times a game. That's your only chance to win. Because Winnipeg's offense, especially when Nick Dembski is injured, just looks terrible.
Oh, it does.
Like Ontario Wilson's been a huge bright spot, making arguably the catch of the year 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yes.
But like in all, like straight up, this team is bad. Like this Winnipeg team is bad. There's no and ifs or buts about it. I know they're going to make the playoffs. Straight up, I think any other year they wouldn't. I think if Edmonton started Cody Fajardo from the beginning of the year, I don't think Winnipeg's making the playoffs. But I mean, I honestly think this Winnipeg team, whether they have to face BC, Calgary, Montreal, or Hamilton, gonna get their butts kicked.
For sure.
Maybe you have a chance against Hamilton because for some reason your offense seems to match up well against Hamilton's defense. Even though I think Hamilton is a much better overall team. Is that
because of Kenny Lawler being a former Blue Bomber?
Oh no, I think I just mean like if you look at Winnipeg's best offensive games this year, their best game all year was against Hamilton. That's the only reason why I'm saying maybe, but that was also with Jamal Peters and Deshaun Amos out of the lineup. So when you have your two best corners out of the lineup, it can very well be why an offense can rip you apart. Because Collaros still has an arm. Like I'm not denying Collaros still doesn't have an arm. I really think this is the last years that we're going to see Zach Collaros play.
I think it's up to you, Jake. I think you're right. I think it depends what happens in the playoffs. I think if Winnipeg gets eliminated in the first game of the playoffs this year, like in the semifinals, then yeah, you want to see Brady Oliveira sign elsewhere. Maybe Zach Collaros retires. Maybe he signs somewhere else. I don't know. But I think you could see Winnipeg kind of blowing up. But if Winnipeg finds a way to win the semifinals, finds a way to win the finals,
really don't
and finds a way to go to a 6th Grey Cup in a row at home field, this team's still going to have one more time.
Honestly, though, if they win a Grey Cup this year, I don't see what Zach Collaros has left to play for, so I think he'd retire. I think either way, he's retiring. He's either going to retire because he just isn't good enough anymore, or he's going to retire because he has won 3 Grey Cups in 6 years, and he's going to go down as a Winnipeg hero. I know he signed for another year still, but that doesn't mean anything in football.
Well, it's like Ovechkin. Why everyone's like, what does Ovechkin have a
big difference with Ovechkin? Ovechkin is still playing at a high level.
True.
Zach Collaros, the last 2 seasons, this season and last season, is not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Zach Collaros is the worst starting quarterback in the CFL right now when you look at like the actual starters. I'm not talking about when the Argos start Jared Dagey yesterday and he tried to go bowling instead of
that was painful.
I felt bad for Dagey because he played so well the week before against Saskatchewan.
For sure.
Mind you, I think it just shows you how good Calgary actually is when Calgary's firing on all cylinders. But you're telling me, and I want to start asking you this. We're going to start playing a little game here. Yeah. Better or worse? If Winnipeg had Nick Arbuckle instead of Zach Collaros, is the team better or worse?
Better.
Trevor Harris?
Better.
Nathan Rourke?
Worse.
Why?
Because Nathan Rourke has an attitude problem. I mean,
so does Zach Collaros. He whines every time he gets hit.
Okay, but Winnipeg is veteran team. And I'm going to have some little
a veteran team that I think could straighten out Nathan Rourke's attitude problem. I'm just talking on the field.
That's true too.
On the field, you're telling me Zach Collaros right now is better than Nathan Rourke. You need to get your
not on the field. I'm just saying overall.
He would make the team better. Any quarterback, Vernon Adams Jr., better or worse?
Better.
Trevor Harris.
We always say that.
Well, I'm saying it again.
Okay, better. It's boring.
Cody Fajardo.
Better.
Screw it. Trey Ford.
Worse.
Better. Look at the stats. Numbers don't lie. Trey Ford, on paper, statistically, was actually better than Zach Collaros this year.
Okay, I don't care about that. Trey Ford can't know for football more than 50 yards a game.
Dan, that was one game.
Still,
Chris Trevler won a game, and you went on and on because he won. It didn't matter, where he threw way less than Trey Ford.
I know. So hilarious.
So honestly, Winnipeg can win with a very mobile quarterback, and that's what Trey Ford does.
True.
Also, I think this might be time to bring in a new offensive coordinator in Winnipeg. I think so far without Buck Pierce, this offense just does not look as threatening.
Yeah.
They made a mistake by picking Dalton Schoen over Kenny Lawler as well. But again, like we're not in a post-mortem mode yet for Winnipeg because they're going to make the playoffs. I have a feeling they're going to have to go through the East.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's not for sure yet, Dan. We still have no idea who's playing who yet. Montreal could still win first in the East instead of Hamilton. Winnipeg could still technically get a home playoff game over Calgary or BC. Like, it's all up in the air right now. All we know is Saskatchewan gets the bye. That's all we know right now, and we know who's going to make the playoffs. We don't know who's sitting where.
I hope Saskatchewan plays Jake Marin every game.
Well, that will be another $1 million question. I mean, do you play Jake Mayer, or do you not want Trevor Harris resting that much? Personally, I'm playing Jake Mayer because look at VA getting hurt in that
I don't know why.
Which I thought that was. I understood starting Vernon Adams that game because Toronto did legitimately give Saskatchewan a run for their money the week before, and you needed that win to still have a chance to host a playoff game. But when you were up 4 scores, I don't know why you were still leaving him in. I also don't know why they challenged the pass interference, even though, like, I understand Dave Dickinson was right. It was PI. I don't know why you're challenging that with like 50 seconds left and a 44 to whatever score.
It was a classless move, but as much as I love Herschel, it was also classless of him jumping over the guy.
I don't think it is. I think that's playing hard. I think it's playing hard.
No, Jacob, listen, man. Take off your Argo glasses. It was classless.
So you're telling me then if I'm down 6-1 in a hockey game and I score to make it 6-2, am I a dick?
No, not if you score, but if you like dangle around and like, you know, I don't know, but if you
exactly no, Dan,
you're like a Forsberg in a 6-1 game, then yeah.
If you score, it's not being a jerk.
Come on, Jay, you know what I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying, but I don't have to agree with you.
Okay.
Remember, on the Analyst Desk,
Argo glasses are on at the decks here.
No, they're not, because Jake Herschel's fighting for a spot for next year.
He's got a spot.
No, he doesn't. Nobody.
He leads in Argos and touchdowns.
Nobody's job is safe after a 5-win season. Nobody's job is safe. I mean, I don't think they should fire Ryan Dinwiddie, but Ryan Dinwiddie's job isn't safe.
Do we all agree Pinball's job is safe?
No one's job is safe because Pinball made a critical mistake in thinking Chad Kelly might play this year. And we'll talk. I'm leaving it at that. I'm going to get way more into that when we do our postmortem show about the Argos. But look, I do think, though, getting back to Winnipeg, I know they're going to make the playoffs. And sure, once you're there, any team has a chance. And when Nick Dembski's healthy, it's a different offense. Their defense still is good. Not the best, but it's still good. I just don't see
them missing Big Hill.
I just don't see this team beating BC, Calgary, Montreal, or Hamilton, especially if it's not in Winnipeg. They maybe have a shot in Winnipeg just because that stadium will be rocking, which is going to really hurt the other team.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we will see. But I'm curious if you agree with me, Dan. I think after what Calgary did this week, they're proving that they're a Grey Cup contender again.
Yeah, we're definitely getting there. I mean,
I know it's against Toronto.
It's like you said, they rolled over a minor league team in the Argos, right? So it's like,
but the Riders could barely beat them the week before.
Yeah, but they had more to play for at that point.
No, they didn't. Season was over either way, and they were on the road.
But it's like, I don't know.
Calgary
looked good. Yeah. Could I have done what Calgary did?
No.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I thought that Max Duncan looked pretty good. I know it was in garbage. It was in complete garbage time, but so was Tucker Horn, and Tucker Horn struggled. Jared Dagey, I thought that was his worst game as an Argo, to be honest. And I thought Max Duggan, he actually played really well. 13 for 16, 109 and a touchdown. Hit a nice deep shot to Herschel. Herschel, by the way, did finish with 92 yards in that game. And we got to give a quick shout out to Kevin Mattal, who had his first 100-yard reception season.
Yeah, good.
I thought, you know what? So big ups to Kevin Mattal. And what they've said is he hasn't even learned all the routes on the route tree yet. So you're just scratching the surface with him. But no, I think Calgary.
Give me another gas or ass. If the Argos kept Cameron Dukes when Nick Arbuckle got injured, they would have won more than 5 games.
Ass?
Cameron Dukes relied on
a running game and an offensive line.
They had a running game.
No. Toronto is the worst running team in the CFL.
But we're starting to get fair at the end.
Spencer
I
Brown.
don't know. I would have kept Cameron Dukes in every year, especially.
Okay, I would not have cut Cameron Dukes personally.
I think that was a big mistake, and I know it's only a couple games, but if you look at the games that Daggy lost you, if you were 7-10 right now versus 5-2,
they're not 5-2, Dan.
What?
You said 5-2.
No, you're 5-12 right now. If you were 7-10 instead, I guess you would be tied with Edmonton,
which still wouldn't be making the playoffs either way.
But at least it'd be a little closer.
It doesn't matter. If anything, at least we should get the first overall pick.
No, Ottawa will get it.
Ottawa still has a chance to be better than Toronto if they beat Hamilton next week.
No, I don't have the same record, 5 wins.
I would argue I don't know. I would argue that I think Ottawa in the last, at least this week, played much better than Toronto did.
Okay, but on paper, Ottawa is the worst team in Toronto.
Yeah, the best Ottawa can do is go up to 5 wins.
Right.
I will say for Toronto, funny enough, they were actually the highest scoring right now. They're the highest scoring team in the East for points wise.
Yeah.
Now that'll change obviously because Hamilton, I think, will score more than 7 points next week.
I would hope so.
I would hope. I mean, I don't hope so. But
they play Ottawa that game, right?
The Jays have Lane in Hulk mode.
Oh, I like that.
Hey, boys. Hey, Lane. How's it going, good sir? The Ottawa third stringer actually looked half decent. I agree with you, actually. I thought Trey Adams had some moments. A moment like this. Some people wait a lifetime to throw a touchdown in the 6. Even though he wasn't in the 6, but that's okay. It rhymed. Yeah, I thought Trey Adams actually had some good moments in that game. I think honestly, again, we're going to also do a post show about yes, he is a young guy. That was his first start since 2023, Lane, when he had a really bad knee injury. Came off a win against Edmonton 23, hurt his knee, missed a year, and then Dustin Crum was the starter for most of that season. We'll get more into Ottawa in when we talk about their season as a whole, but Ottawa, out of the 3 teams that didn't, obviously there's 3 teams that make the playoffs: Edmonton, Toronto, and Ottawa. I think it's fair to say Ottawa's in the worst shape. Just when you look at the play on the field, they only scored 402 points so far in 17
I don't know. I hate to argue with you, but I would say Toronto.
I would disagree with you because went from Toronto with Nick Arbuckle healthy or Chad Cowie healthy, this is a very different team than what we've seen the last couple weeks.
You went from winning a Grey Cup to getting 5 wins.
Okay, you went from Ottawa being the best team at home to only winning 2 games at home all year. Ottawa is definitely the worst out of those. I became an Elks fan down the stretch. Yeah, Lane, I agree with you. The Elks out of those 3 teams are in the best shape, and they're the closest.
For sure, yeah, I agree with that.
I just think the Argos, if the special teams had figured it out sooner and they planned an offense around Nick Arbuckle instead of a half-ass one around Chad Cowie that they tried to make it work with Nick Arbuckle, I think this team I think Toronto is a much better team than their record. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Ottawa, I think they're as good as their record. They got blown out a lot this year, and we'll talk about that more in another show. But
I'm surprised as that going into free agency with Ottawa.
I thought Ottawa was going to be like a tier
Lewis and all that. I thought they might have had the best team.
Ottawa was my sleeper pick out of the East going into this season. It was Ottawa out of the East, Calgary out of the West. Looks like I've been right about Calgary. Mm-hmm. You know what? But I think before we obviously there's a bunch of NFL games starting at 1:00, so let's quickly dive into some of those before we talk Blue Jays.
Yes. Oh,
but quickly back to the CFL, because Lane knows I love to talk CFL, and he loves to poke the bear about Dan with Nathan Rourke. Nathan Rourke 70-yard touchdown run. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was nice.
That was a big play that kind of put Edmonton away.
Put the nail in the coffin, as we say.
Honestly, yeah, I think Nathan Rourke will win MOP.
I still think it's Mills. Why does the MOP have to be a quarterback every year?
It doesn't always have to be a quarterback, but I wouldn't even argue Dedrick Mills is the best running back in the CFL. I'd argue it's Justin Rankin. Most yardage from the line of scrimmage of any player in the CFL this year.
Yeah.
That you see if Edmonton, when the team stops Justin Rankin, you stop Edmonton.
For sure.
But no, I think it's going to come down. I think Nathan Rourke will win the MOP. Absolutely. He
Well,
is
I have to.
really.
He's the poster
He has
boy
the
for the
second highest
CFL.
efficiency rating in the Canadian football, only 0.2 behind Trevor Harris. It took him about a third of the year to get going, but once he's got going, if Nathan Rourke plays like this in the playoffs, if BC can have the three phases working that they have now in the playoffs, that team could very well win the Grey Cup this year.
For sure, yeah.
Do I think all three phases will work this well in the playoffs?
No.
Honestly, no. I don't think BC is going to win the Grey Cup this year. I'm not going to give you my pick just yet. We'll have a playoff preview show coming up very, very soon with Theater Near You. Lane, I have no idea what that acronym means. ICSM. Ice Cream Sizzled Mustard.
I thought it was a laptop company.
Can't wait till Dan wears a Rourke jersey. Ignore the last comment. Oh, well, I can't ignore it. I want ice cream sizzling mustard. Key, I have the Blue Jays winning tonight. I've never seen more heart in a team than I do now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to say this.
I agree.
I agree with Key because I think the Jays are going to win Game 6. And in Toronto fashion, they're going to break our hearts in a blowout loss in Game 7. I honestly think Seattle's winning the series.
No.
I hope I'm wrong. Let me be clear. I hope that I'm wrong. I don't want to be correct, but I think I will be. That is the most Toronto way to lose.
Imagine how good the World Series would be Toronto versus LA.
Well, no, we'll just get creamed. Whoever, Lane, I'm very glad that your butt likes to text me. I think it means I can't see far. Oh, that could be the acronym that Lane's butt wanted us to know. Lane's butt cannot see far. But look, when we go back to the way Toronto teams lose in spectacular fashion, it's just a fact. The Toronto Maple Leafs last year, they play the worst Game 5 we've ever seen. They come back in Game 6. They shut out the Panthers. They win. Game 7, they get completely destroyed. Mm-hmm. The Leafs have done it multiple times against the Bruins.
Yeah, but
the Toronto Argos go 16-2. And then in the Eastern Final, play the worst game I've ever watched the Toronto Argonauts play in my entire life. Toronto teams love to break hearts. They're like Jason Derulo. I'm only gonna break your heart.
Oh, I forgot about that song.
I'm an emotional, and you are very emotional, gent, and passionate, but Lane, you are also a beautiful gent, a dashing gent.
100%.
Like, look how beautiful his picture is there. You can see his little YouTube icon. He's a very
more
nice
hair than me.
But quickly in the NFL, and we'll get back into some more Jays because we have NFL games more starting at 1 o'clock. The Rams are beating the Jags 35-7. Very glad I did not wake up at 9 a.m. to watch that snooze fest. So you got the Eagles and Vikings. That's an interesting one. Eagles on a 2-game losing streak. Vikings are 3-2 right now. So that's an interesting game.
That'll be a great
Jets
game.
and Panthers, I'm not really looking, kind of Dolphins and Browns, Bears and Saints, that could be interesting. Even though the Saints don't have a great record at 1-5, they've had some close games. Bears are starting to figure it out at 3-2. And Giants versus Broncos, Colts and Chargers. Those are 2 games that could be interesting. I'd say Commanders and Cowboys. I'm feeling like the Cowboys really got to find a way to win that game to kind of keep their season in a good standing, as they've been really struggling off and on this year. Commanders also sitting at 3-3. And then on Monday, of course, we also got the Packers versus Cardinals. In Green Bay, they started off really strong. Now they're 3-1-1. I think people thought this team would kind of be like be at around 5-1 at this point, especially with the way they started. I still think they're a Super Bowl contender, though.
Oh, it have to be, sir.
But honestly, I'm curious
this year.
I'm curious what your thoughts, Dan, are. But a lot of these games here, they're just kind of mid.
I mean, I like the Eagles and Vikings one, not the one I'll be most excited about. I didn't hear the Bills and that.
They're off this week.
Yeah, I thought so, right?
I'm more interested in the Monday night game between the Buccaneers and Lions. I think Baker Mayfield
that'll be a good game.
MVP caliber season.
Yeah, that'll be a good game.
So that'll be the game of the week, I think.
Yeah. I kind of hope Philly kind of gets things back going. I really like Philly.
I like Philly, but if Philly loses a third straight, then there's going to be a lot of heat going on in Philly. It's going to be a very hot day in Philadelphia. But back to the comment section we go. If the Jays blow it tonight, considering a failure for blowing a game, do you add Schneider need to take a hot dog and go away? Lane, I'm not going to agree with you on that personally. I don't think this season for the Jays, they could lose 15-0 today, and I don't think this season's a failure.
You know what?
However, I did not agree with Schneider's decisions, a lot of his decisions with his bullpen in this series.
I would have agreed with Jacob until yesterday, watching him putting in Little in a do-or-die situation in the eighth inning. As soon as I put Little in, I'm like, oh, no. And I was like, I don't know why you didn't play Hoffman.
I actually would have put in Bassett.
Oh, I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, you did. We saw him in the first game when he actually played pretty well, even though the game was a blowout.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's all. I forgot about that.
But we'll see, right? I don't know. I personally, Schneider's not getting fired. I think this could have been a different series too.
No, I'm not saying he's going to get fired. I'm not saying I really disagree with that. I agree with Lane, though. I really disagree with that decision and putting in Little.
But I also feel like, look, there's a very good chance that if Bichette wasn't injured in this game, maybe there's the odd play that would have been made. Right. If Bichette wasn't out this whole series. But I hope you'll be wrong too. Key, I also hope I'm wrong. But enjoy church, Key. And Dan, if you're gonna nap, do it now, because no sleeping is allowed in baseball. Don't even get me started about the tears, because there's no crying in baseball.
That's right, 100%.
No crying in baseball. And there's no napping in baseball. So, Dan, absolutely, when we're off here and then I'm going to visit good friend of mine to get my lubrication done on my truck. Yes, I had to say it that way. Then you can have your nap then, good sir.
That's right.
But look, I honestly think for the Jays, at the end of the day, I think you can't be too upset considering they were one of the worst teams in baseball, and now they're 2 wins away from making it to the World Series. Yeah. That's how you have to look at it. I understand the passion.
Yeah.
I understand the frustration because you feel this is a winnable series. I think this is also, I'm going to take a shot at the Yankees. I think this also just shows how bad the Yankees are.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Lane, I'm just saying, imagine you're manager of the year, then you blow up the building and all that hard work means nothing anymore. Yeah, no, Lane, I
agree. Yeah.
Saying. And I think Schneider has mismanaged some things, but I also think his calm demeanor is what's got this team here as far as they have. I don't think this team is the type that responds to being yelled and screamed at very well.
No.
It was interesting. Kevin Biesca made a comment about Martin St. Louis.
Yeah.
Coaching style, saying, you know what, the old yelling and screaming way doesn't work with millennials. And I saw some people were mad at him at social media for calling out millennials for being soft. And
he was right.
Dan, you are a millennial, Dan.
Yeah.
So you're soft.
Yeah, compared to the olden days, 100% I am. I think I'm one of the toughest millennials on the block, but comparing to like back in the day, the baby boomer days, yeah, I'm soft.
And we're not going to get into that because there's a lot of economical reasons where we could argue that not true. I can't look at it I understand that, Lane. And right now as a fan, you're looking at it like we could be up 3-2. Right now, as a team, the Jays are like, we win at home, we go to the World Series.
Right.
That's how they're looking at it. I think this team has always played really well when their backs are up against the wall. I really do think they're going to win Game 6. And I hope I'm wrong and they win Game 7. I think it's just the Toronto sports fan in me.
Wonder how crazy ticket prices will be able to make the World Series versus LA.
Well, it's already like $370 on StubHub. Just get a general admission ticket for today's game. I think expectations rise as you rise above them. I agree, but I also think you got to set a goal for the season, and I don't even think the goal of the season was even to make the playoffs. And they made the playoffs.
It was
when they were so good. I said they had to win a round. They won a round.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to get better, then what are you doing? And no, Lane, again, I agree with you, but you have to set a goal. It's like if you were in school and the passing grade was a 70 and then you got a 74 and they said, well, actually, no, I just changed the passing grade. You needed an 80.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. That doesn't work. I understand as a fan, that's how we feel. And look, I think the Jays, I don't think Little went out there purposely trying to lose that game or anything.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, it's not like that. I think it just comes down to I think Seattle's a very good team. I think people are forgetting how good the Mariners are.
Yeah, great team.
Right? Like I think Seattle is a
Mariners a bit of Yankees.
If they didn't win a game, yeah, I agree with you, Lane. If they didn't win a game, I would also be more pissed about it. I'd still say the season was a success, but I'd be more frustrated. But yeah, Seattle's better than the Yankees, clearly. You could argue they're better than Milwaukee because Milwaukee just got walked all over.
I did not see that coming, to be honest with you.
I did. The Dodgers are going to win the World Series no matter who faces them.
Yeah,
I hope I'm wrong because honestly, I'd actually rather see. I actually would rather see Toronto or Seattle win the World Series over the Dodgers. I'm not a Dodgers fan or not at all. Although that Shohei Ohtani, like he's incredible.
Yeah, he's an incredible player. For Dodgers is like the Yankees of the West, right? Like
Yankees lose.
Those is probably the mecca of baseball, but any day it is the Yankees.
You know what the Yankees did? They took a train from Union Station. But Lane, I had a bet. I know, obviously, it's a big day today in sports. I'm curious what you think, Dan. Talk about a team that's panicking. Like, go to the NHL quickly. Mm-hmm. Calgary Flames, should they be panicking right now?
1,000%. A lot. Dustin Wall looked terrible. Versus
they're 1-5 right now to start the year. This team looks god awful.
So why doesn't they make for trade that stupid Marsoli, trade Nick Robertson, trade a first-round pick, and what else you got to do to bring back Madison Kadri?
Because they're not going to, number one, Calgary wouldn't take Marsoli and Robertson for Kadri. We don't have any prospects left.
Okay, give him Ethan Cowan. Who cares?
We can't trade Cowan. He's our last prospect.
He's hopeless.
We gave up all these prospects for Carlo and Lawton. Carlo's about to be demoted down to the second pairing, and Lawton's a fourth-line center, third line at best. Huberdeau scored, so that's good for Calgary. First game back, gets a goal. Yeah, Lane did get to meet Craig Berube, and look, I still think Craig Berube's a great coach, right? And
that's cool. You got to meet him. That's sweet.
Whoa, Lane's calling out Craig Berube.
Wow.
I want
to know. Not stood him up at his Benamac window. Hey, you on the street, get better. Yeah, no, you can't do that. That's why people hate playing in Toronto.
But no, you're talking about a team that should be hitting the panic button. It's definitely the Calgary Flames.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
They're 1-5. They can't score. Dustin Wolf.
Well, what did they respectful? They didn't really do anything in the offseason.
Yeah, but remember, last year they missed the playoffs just by a tiebreaker. But I don't think they got better. I think they just stayed status quo, and I think other teams got better.
Yeah, but
I'll put it this way: if by game we'll say 20, they only have 5 wins, which I think is theoretically possible at this point for the Flames. I think then it's time for Calgary to make some major changes.
The other team I'm most surprised is doing so terrible is Los Angeles. Los Angeles only has 1 win in 6 games. Now, mind you, they got 2 overtime losses.
Still,
Los Angeles went off and got Corey Perry and got some players in the offseason, and I'm shocked they're as bad as they are.
I'm kind of surprised how good Pittsburgh looks so far at 4-2. They're starting to turn back the clock.
I'm not surprised by that. I thought last year was just a fluke. I know Malkin played bad last year, but Crosby still played very good, The
Jets look great as well. I hate to say it, so do the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
The Sharks haven't won a game yet, but they have 2 overtime losses. Yeah, the Kings look pretty bad. I hope.
Just look at Calgary's roster, Jacob. It's literally the same as last year, but worse. How do you expect them to be any better?
Because I don't know. I didn't think they'd be this bad.
I'm not surprised one bit. And I said that going into this year, it sets a week off season. You're going to see some teams really struggle. And here we are, Calgary being the brunt of it, right?
Also, too, you could argue Tampa's been kind of struggling. Ottawa's been struggling. Buffalo had a nice win over Florida, so maybe that'll get them going. Fans already throwing their jerseys on the ice after a game last week.
Yeah, did you see Brad Marchand take the helmet of that Swedish defenseman and take his straps off and threw it back on the ice. Classic La Vincent. We all love it.
Good friend of the program, David, sent me that, so I saw that. It was quite.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But yeah, look, I'm sure good friend of the program, Max, is very happy with the Red Wings currently tied for first in the Atlantic.
Yeah, well, that's because the Leafs gave him 4 points.
No, the Leafs won one of those games, but nice try.
No, he didn't.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They didn't.
Duh.
Derp. Although the big surprise in Detroit is Cam Talbot.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually not really been John Gibson who's leading the charge right now in Detroit.
No.
It's Cam Talbot who's got... Dan, you were going, oh, no, the Leafs are terrible. They could barely beat Cam Talbot. You should trade everyone. Cam Talbot this year in 4 games has 3 wins, a 1.78 goals against average, and a .932 save percentage. Right now, Cam Talbot's best goalie in the NHL, the way he's playing.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, the other thing we got to give a shout out to is Carolina. They haven't lost a game all year.
Yeah. Carolina's always like that, though. I still think they need a piece, like, down the road.
Oh, for sure, because that whole Rantanen disaster, right? They got to figure something out. But
it's not.
But I don't give them credit.
Yeah, but you could argue it's not working out for Colorado either. So they should have paid Rantanen after seeing Kaprizov getting 17. They just should have paid Rantanen the 12.
Well, I was saying that at the beginning. How about 12?
Because now Natchez wants 11.5, right? And
so I think Rantanen's say $500,000.
Rantanen's better than Natchez. So I don't know. It's a weird situation there, but no, let's just hopefully, though, we see some good football today. Let's hope the Jays get a big win. And Dan, I'm going to ask you on the spot, how do you feel about doing a Jays postgame show today?
I'm down.
So we will be doing a Jays postgame show today. You heard it here first at the desk.
Are we doing a pre-record tonight too?
Yeah, we probably will be also doing a pre-record. We're going to get back to our at least once a week pre-recorded shows, which kind of recapping the week and diving into some bigger topics. And of course, we're going to have pre-recorded shows that we may go live with as well. That'll go on both Spotify and all those.
I think that's a great help because we have 2 different sets of people. We have our people watching our live, but we also have a lot of people that watch a pre-record on Spotify or in iHeartRadio that maybe we don't see live if they're behind the scenes if they are following. Like, it's a lot of people don't have Facebook accounts nowadays and don't use YouTube and stuff as much, or right? Twitch. So we do have 2 sets of people here, so we gotta cater everyone.
But I think, so we definitely will be back with a double header today, and then we'll have our pre-recorded show. And as a reminder, too, we will be doing an Argonauts post-mortem show probably at some point this week or next. And then we'll be doing one for the Edmonton Elks when their season's officially done, and the Ottawa Redblacks. Plus, we have CFL playoff preview. And we're going to be doing lots of NHL, NFL stuff coming up. I do want to do, once we're at the quarter mark in the NHL season, I want to look over all the teams and see how everyone's doing.
Yeah, because we never got to a season preview, right? So we're falling behind the NHL, so we got to do something for that pretty quick.
We will. Dan, don't you worry. Okay, Dan? Everyone, tell Dan not to worry in the comments.
I love NHL. You know, they're just big shout out here to Argo Fluffy. Big Neats here. He's an Indigenous artist, and he did this beautiful Toronto Maple Leaf hoodie for me. It's actually the Toronto CN Tower in the middle of the Toronto Maple Leaf. And you can follow him on Instagram there. He's got all kinds of cool Indigenous art, so NHL, CFL, whatever team you think of. And just big shout out to Argo Fluffy, as he likes to be called, as he's a season ticket holder for the Argos as well. Yeah, don't worry. I know. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
My hockey. I'm so excited that hockey's back. It's like, summer. It's like, I miss hockey. And boom, we're back to it.
But it's tough, right? There's just so much going on in the sports world. But we do the best we can to cover everything we possibly can at the desk. But thank you very much for watching our Super Sunday. We'll be back with a Toronto Blue Jays post-game show. Plus, we'll have a show for you guys locked and loaded for Monday morning. So thank you very much for watching. I'm the self-proclaimed sports analyst. Thank you for all the likes and the comments. Remember, guys, it helps a lot when you can like the videos. It does improve the algorithm so more people can see how much fun we have at the desk. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining Mr. Moore for your money.
No problem.
Where's your woo?
Woo!
And until next time, thank you for joining the Analyst Desk, where every day feels like game day.
Bye-bye.